Hey guys, welcome in. I hope you all are doing all right. My name is Brianna, and this is going to be your energetic astrological update for the next 2 days. I will be using some of the current astrology, as well as a combination of both tarot and oracle cards to channel these messages for you guys. And I have already pulled the cards here out on the table, but I will say that I will continue to pull cards because there's some energies that I would like to clarify. So as we move through this reading, I will continue to pull cards. So the message here, you guys, before I start, I just want to say that as I was pulling these cards for you guys, I was asking my guides for the most important, the most critical, the most crucial messages for the collective at this timeline, because I feel like where we are in terms of divine timing is a very critical turning point, right? Every day we're getting closer to this total solar eclipse in Leo, which in my opinion, because it's occurring so close to the south node, it's going to be like a karmic solar eclipse, right? Where an old karmic story ends and this new karmic story begins. So I asked my guides to help me channel the most important messages, the most crucial and critical messages for the collective at this time. And one of the first cards to come out is, or was, the tarantula, right? The tarantula, this card talks about being at a crossroads, or at the threshold of your purpose, right? At the threshold of your dharma, even. This card talks about how critical and crucial our next moves are, because we are weaving fate, right? We're weaving fate through our choices in this energy. This card also talks about something from the past, right? Because it is a crossroads, something from the past, either like a habit, a routine, a person, or an experience from the past that may be like distracting or sidetracking you, right? This card also talks about how your intuition is asking. This is a fire energy, so maybe it's more intense than asking, like begging you to regain your focus and your alignment at this critical turning point, right? So you guys, I just want to touch on this energy, like this past energy that may be distracting you or may be distracting the collective at this time. In our last reading, there was a message coming out about family karma, right? In that message, there was like this strong pull for the collective to cultivate this sovereign signal, right? Cultivate this sense of sovereignty where we were being asked to separate our energy from a group. This group, in my last reading, was giving like this family dynamic, maybe even like a karmic family dynamic, but it could be anything, right? It could be a work environment. It could just be the collective consciousness, right? There's a message coming through about how in order to align with our soul's purpose, right, or our dharma, we have to separate ourselves from the opinions and like the clashing judgments of the collective so that we can embody this sovereign frequency or activate the light within and then move in our own direction, right? So this group, maybe it wasn't a family, maybe it wasn't the people at your job, maybe it may have just been the collective, right? The collective consciousness. But whatever the case, we were asked to separate, draw this line of demarcation, or implement these boundaries that solidified us as a sovereign energetic frequency. So whatever this energy is, if you're resonating with this message, right, this past habit, routine, person, or experience that may be distracting you or drawing your energy, your intention, your focus away from your intended target, Spirit wants us to, again, be mindful of our choices in this energy. We have a message here at the bottom of the deck. We have the owl, right? The owl. This card talks about divine intelligence, like a new awareness or like this deep inner knowing of approaching abundance, right? This owl is connected to, linked to the goddess Lakshmi, right? Goddess Lakshmi is a life-giving, like motherly goddess of wealth, beauty, creativity, and good fortune, right? This card talks about how something that you've been working on, something that you've been pouring your time, your energy, and attention into growing. And this could be yourself, right? This could be yourself. This could be your confidence. This could be your radiance. This could be your creative expression, or it could be your work, right? Your business and your wealth. Something that you've been working on growing intentionally, right? You've been giving a lot of time and a lot of energy to nurturing and growing this thing. This card talks about the potential for this thing, whatever you've been investing in, to like skyrocket or just take off out of nowhere, right? Which brings me to this 8-8 Lionsgate portal, right? This 8-8 Lionsgate portal it's a time of harvest, right? It's a time of harvest. I'm getting something about how this calendar, the calendar that we operate on, it's man-made. It's not really reliable. But what is reliable is like divine timing, the seasons. Right now we're in like the peak of summer, right? The peak of summer where things are growing rapidly, right? Fruit are ripening, right? So this timeline that we're in right now, it's a time of harvest. It's a time where the seeds that you've already sown, right? The seeds that have already been planted and nurtured, they have the potential to be like accelerated and amplified. I'm getting like sun energy. The sun is like this generative force, this life-giving force that amplifies whatever you've been working on, right? And this could be for better or for worse. I feel like this gateway or this time, right? This time, it doesn't ask whether your seeds are good or bad. It's just amplifying everything that you've been working on. So what have you been working on? What have you been investing your time, your energy, and your attention into? Because right now, as we're moving through this 8-8 gateway, or as we're moving through this time of the year, right? Your seeds have the potential to, I want to say, magnify. I'm getting more of that like ripened fruit energy. Karma, something about karma being ripe. Karma being ripe for better or for worse. So we had the owl here. The next card that we have is the raccoon. The raccoon talks about like a talented person, someone who is gifted, highly gifted, unique, a unique individual, but these gifts and these talents are masked. This card talks about issues, unresolved issues about your identity, your personal identity around your self-worth and what you're able to create and cultivate for yourself. And then we have the shark. This shark energy came out a couple of readings back talking about someone, a situation, an experience, a person circling a gift, right? This shark talks about an underlying tension or something that invokes a fear, an internal fear, maybe causing you to mask. If this is someone in your environment, or if it's just an experience, right? This experience is producing these energies of like fear, worry, anxiety, maybe causing you to hide your true identity. This could have something to do with like trauma. I'm not getting it as a person, right? In the last reading, it came out, the shark came out as a person, and this reading is coming out more as like these deep feelings. I'm getting the moon, and we do have the moon here. Let's see if we can get more about what this is. As I mentioned, we do have the moon card here. The moon. This is Neptune in Pisces. The moon is our emotional subconscious, right? It's where all of our subconscious emotions are stored. The moon is also like the channel, a channel that links us to our intuition and our psychic capabilities, right? Our psychic abilities to sense, to feel, to pick up on guidance from our higher selves. Where is the moon right now? The moon is in Gemini. The moon is in Gemini, encouraging us to speak with speak with truth, with authenticity and integrity. And this speaking, maybe it's not like physical communication, right? Like words coming out of our mouths. Maybe it's just like the embodiment of your truth, your authenticity, and this integrity, right? So the moon card in the tarot is the High Priestess, right? And the High Priestess is like this stable, secure, and positive connection to the unseen. The High Priestess spends a lot of her time in this moon realm, right? Behind the scenes realm. And I'm feeling like that's where this shark energy is. This shark energy, like I said before, it was coming out as a person around you, creating tension, causing you to tense up, right? To shut down. But in this reading, it's giving like this is a subconscious energy, or an energy. It could be a fear of expressing truthfully. This energy, whatever it is, it's stored within the moon, right? We also have, okay, hold on before I continue. So we have the moon in Gemini, right? The moon in Gemini asking us to speak with authenticity and integrity. I talked about how the moon is connected to the High Priestess, and Gemini is going to be connected to the Magician and the Lovers in the tarot. The Magician talks about alchemy, right? Alchemy, creating this clear signal or this clear channel so that our dreams, our hopes, and our aspirations can be manifested in their purity. And then the lovers traditionally or esoterically talks about choices, right? Making these sovereign choices that align us with our counterparts, with our soul family, right? So the moon in Gemini is talking about like these pure choices that create material change. And remember how the tarantula was talking about how our choices in this energy are critical, because we're at this juncture, right? Where we could manifest. Let me show you the cards that we have here. Where we can either manifest, I want to hold them this way because this feels like past energy, more of this like wounded warrior energy, or experiences that teach us how to stand up for ourselves. Or we can start a brand new cycle. This brand new cycle, this fire energy, Ace of Fire, Ace of Wands, it's like life force energy, creative potential, which is drawing me to the solar eclipse in Leo, right? The solar eclipse in Leo is a gateway where all of our resources, right? Our spark, our enthusiasm, our radiance will return, right? It's like the beginning of a new creative process, something that's going to inspire us. It's going to feel good. I'm getting like sacral chakra energy. It's going to be like pleasurable. So we can move into, this is the crossroads energy that we're facing right here, right? More of this or some of this, right? Okay, let's get an overall energy. Okay. What's the overall energy of this reading, Spirit? What are we working with here? Guys, if you're finding value in this video, or if these messages are helpful, please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Leave a comment, even if the comment is just an emoji, right? Because your engagement and interaction with these videos, it does let YouTube know that these videos, the messages are helpful, and in turn, that helps the channel grow. And I have been seeing some positive growth here on the channel, so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everyone who interacts and engages with the messages. But let's see what this overall energy is. What do we have? Origins, ecstasy, divinity, purity. Origins, it's a number 1, right? It talks about your primordial life force energy. This is your original frequency. This energy came out in the last reading. Your unique energetic signature. If you can see, her solar plexus is lit up, right? Solar plexus energy is going to be Leo energy, our confidence, our radiance, and our positive self-expression. So I feel like it's a message about embodying your truth, right? That's what we've been talking about. This raccoon energy was talking about how sometimes we mask our truth. We mask our truth maybe in fear, or maybe out of fear of being like mocked, laughed at, rejected by the group, by the collective, right? But this card is talking about embodying this sovereign frequency, right? It's going to result in some sort of ecstasy. We have Dionysus here. I can't show this card. Well, I can show it like this. His little thing is showing, but this card is ecstasy. I did mention something about like pleasure, right? Happiness, fulfillment with this Ace of Wands. Embodying your original frequency, 1, independent, sovereignty, separating your frequency from the group, right? Whoever this group is, whatever it is, it could be your family. There was a message about your family experiencing some sort of karma, right? Karma. Their karma is not your karma, but there was this energy of gaslighting, or you just being in close proximity to this group was causing their karma to bleed into your energetic field, right? But there was a message about sovereignty, right? Separating your karma from the karma of your family. If this isn't your family, then I'm getting it more like the collective. The collective, not everyone is on this journey, right? Most, I hate to say it this way, but most of the collective is they're asleep, right? They're still operating on those like automatic subconscious programmings, right? And that makes them susceptible to being hijacked and used by the negative polarity. So it's like once someone, a member of the group, steps into this like authenticity, independence, I'm going to express myself the way that I want to express myself, it's like the group turns on them and they start attacking and judging and like throwing all of these criticisms and negativities at them. So there's a message here about doing it anyway, being yourself anyway, separating your frequency, your sovereign frequency from the group. It's going to result in some sort of, we have ecstasy and divinity. We also have purity, ecstasy, happiness, fulfillment, abundance, pleasure. But it's like the upper realm, heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is what these two cards are giving. I've been talking a lot about like higher dimensional emotional experiences, because we are, I want to say, ascending from the lower realms into the upper realms, right? In these lower realms, this is where we learn to fight and stand up for ourselves, right? The lower realms are where we learn to fight and stand up for ourselves. It's where we are attacked, right? Attacked for deciding to maybe be a certain way, express a certain way, live a certain way, follow a certain path, right? I mentioned that the group turns when a member of the group decides not to conform, right? So we learn to fight and stand up for ourselves in these lower dimensions. But once we've mastered this, then we begin to ascend into these higher dimensions. And that's where we can experience like this heaven on earth energy, higher dimensional emotional experiences. We also have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups talks about transcendence, right? Transcending these lower dimensional realms, these lower dimensional experiences. It's like now you get to be who you truly are, right? And you're rewarded for this level of maturity, right? You move beyond like this suffering and you're comfortable within your being, right? You're embodying these abundant feelings of like contentment. He's like very proud of himself, right? Contentment, joy, optimism, and the frequency of that is what attracts your dharma, right? It's like authenticity plus like contentment, because we can express ourselves authentically but still feel like targeted and triggered and wounded in that. But it's like authenticity plus contentment and joy and just like, yes, I did it. That's the frequency or the magic potion that draws in your dharma, right? Okay, let's get some more. I want to clarify this energy here. Dharma. Spirit is asking me to clarify dharma. Dharma is like the natural order of things. There's no friction here. There's no chaos. There's no fighting. There's no competition here. Dharma is fulfillment, right? It's soul level fulfillment. It's living a life that fulfills you beyond a superficial level, right? We can have money and still feel empty inside, right? We can have material comfort and still feel empty inside. Dharma is when you are operating from an authentic code, operating from an authentic frequency, happiness, inner fulfillment, inner contentment. And then you have all of these material things that enhance your feelings of inner fulfillment, right? Inner stability. It's heaven on earth, right? Heaven on earth. Ecstasy, deep soul fulfillment. Okay? Oi. So I want to clarify this 9 of Wands. I want to clarify the 9 of Wands. What is this energy? Whoa. I'm saying ancient love story, for better or for worse. Ancient love story. Ancient love story. Could be a relationship, something generational, a relationship that's been with you or following you throughout lifetimes. It's ancient. Could be like the energies, the frequencies that this relationship has created within you. This 9 of Wands. Let's see, what else? What is the 9 of Wands? What is the 9 of Wands? We've got love, romance, divine intervention, love, romance. Hold on, let's get more. Watch the tower fall. Watch the tower fall. Let it burn. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, love, romance. Could be a connection. Okay, so this is going back to like that karmic family energy. Karmic family. If this isn't your family, then it's someone who you love, right? Someone that you have this intimate connection with. They have like this intimate access to your moon. I want to say that this is karmic because of the energies that we have here. Okay, so this doesn't have to be a person, this love, romance. It could just be feelings, right? Feelings stored within your emotional subconscious. Feelings of hold on one second, guys. Because I feel like this energy is very superficial. I want to see if I can get to the bottom of it. Okay, so the 9 of fire is the moon in Sagittarius. Talks about emotional triggers interfering with forward movement, bringing the subconscious into the light for rectification, willpower, drawing on hidden or untapped resources for strength, enduring a long-standing issue that tests your resolve, transcending subconscious hurdles and preparing for forward movement. So, emotional triggers that interfere with forward movement. We have new role and position here, So this forward movement is moving you into a new role, a new position. I'm getting like this sovereign self, right? There's a potential for that, but we have these emotional triggers. That's exactly what this is, right? Come on. we have these emotional triggers. Moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the spiritual pathway, right? Emotional triggers interfering with our evolution. Love, romance, divine intervention. This card says, watch the tower fall. Pull your mental and emotional energies out of the tower. Observe the destruction with a sense of detachment and acceptance. Seventh dimensional consciousness, overview of lower dimensions. Let it burn. Divine intervention. Let's see what that is. Divine intervention. What's the divine intervention? What's the divine intervention? Divine intervention. I saw the fox. What's the divine intervention? Divine intervention. The mice. What else? The woman. The snake. Motherfucker. Okay, you guys, this is about to get really karmic, right? We have the mice. The mice talks about an army of worries, right? This is that tension, that subconscious tension, that worry, that anxiety. The mice, an army of worries, right? It's that shark energy. It says loss, theft, destruction. What does this say? Nibbling away, destroying your stability, your foundation. So these are like thoughts, subconscious thoughts that nibble away at the structure, nibble away at your foundation. I'm getting like the serpent that lives at the base of the tree of life, right? It nibbles the roots, right? Destroying the foundation of this tree of life. We have this woman here. This woman, this is like my karmic mother energy. She's like a matriarch of the family. You can see how she's like pointing, projecting. She's projecting this worry, stress, anxiety, energy. And then we have the snake right behind her. The snake. This is the intention, right? Intent to cause harm. So, okay. I feel like this divine intervention is making you aware of whoever this woman is. It could be a karmic mother or her karmic daughter, right? A karmic mother or her karmic daughter. What I mean by that, karmic daughter, it's someone who is repeating, perpetuating the generational karma of her lineage, right? She received whatever these traits are, right? She received these traits from her mother and now she's passing it down. So this could be a lover, right? This could be a lover. We did see love, romance here. This is perhaps something that's been going on for a long time. We have the long road here in the garden. And the anchor, something that's long road. Long road is like something that's been going on for a very long time. It could be generations. It could be just this lifetime. Someone has been like, it's probably something that they inflicted. Something that this woman has inflicted, right? This woman knows how to trigger you, knows how to keep you in this like wounded frequency. I feel like the divine intervention is making you aware of this connection. Maybe you love this person, you have a lot of love for this person. That's the crossroads energy. This or that, this or that, this or that, this or that. You have a choice here, right? There was an energy that came out in the last reading about how you have this sovereign duty. You have this sovereign duty to pull your energy back, watch the tower fall, right? Pull your mental and emotional energies out of the tower and direct the fullness of your life force energy towards your purpose, right? This woman, we did see the raccoon, right? Issues, insecurities, unresolved issues about your self-image and how you show up. So this woman may have inflicted these insecurities, maybe telling you, like my mother always told me, like, you ain't shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, you ain't never gonna have shit. That's what my mother would tell me. So maybe this woman inflicted these worries, right? From a young age, and now these worries, emotional triggers may be interfering with your forward movement. There's an opportunity to, what do we have here? We've got choice point and distraction. These two cards here, choice point and distraction. Let's read distraction first. Distraction says attention thief. Someone or something may be draining your energy or drawing your focus away from your intended target. Assess your priorities to identify areas where your focus can be applied more effectively and where it may be overly concentrated. Misdirection, energy leak, time management, leech, stray. So there's like an energy leak. There may be an energy leak, right? Remember we saw the tarantula. The tarantula talks about how your intuition is begging you to get back into alignment, right? Then we have choice point. It says your free will enables, it says free will enables us to alter our course at will. A choice point is an opportunity to consciously choose the path and the version of ourselves that we want to move forward with. So it's like this pivot energy. I feel like this message is crucial at this timeline because like there's an opportunity to pivot away from whatever this past trauma is. Maybe you've already done this, right? If you've already done this, I feel like the message is just to hold that frequency or hold that alignment as we move through this solar eclipse in Leo, right? Hold that alignment because the solar eclipse in Leo, as I mentioned, it's going to be helping us close the chapter on an old story and step into this new role, right? This new position. Remember we saw that card here. What else? Should we get more? Okay, let's just get some advice. Let's get some advice. We have Sagittarius. I don't like it because they all flipped over. I didn't even get a chance to shuffle. But we have Sagittarius, the law of cause and effect. Every action produces a reaction. We have the moon here, emotional tendencies and instinctual patterns. And we have number 7, completeness, perfection, divine intervention, fulfillment of divine promises, healing, exoneration, growth, and transformation. Okay, I'm going to leave those there, and then I'm going to see if I can actually shuffle this deck. I was going to say something else. Oh, the shark. The shark. Someone or something lurking in the depths, creating this tension, right? It says that the shark only becomes dangerous when left unacknowledged, right? So if we avoid this shark energy, this tension, this army of worries, if we pretend like nothing is wrong, then this shark energy will only become more and more amplified. Remember I said that this 8-8 portal, right? This Lionsgate portal is amplifying the seeds that we have already sown, right? So if we are avoiding and pretending like this tension doesn't exist. This 8-8 portal is going to amplify the tension as a form of divine intervention, right? To get our attention so that we can make a choice. Crossroads energy. Okay, let's see what we have. Let's start with Sagittarius, the quest for meaning and the aspiration to strive. Steady aim, one-pointed focus, become the arrow, and thrust the wholeness of your life or your life force energy towards your vision. Don't be challenged by curiosity and travels of the mind. I feel like that's what this energy is. Maybe not curiosity, but this army of worries. Maybe drawing your attention, your focus away from your intended target. Remaining grounded enough to walk the path. The choices that you make in this energy is going to produce a reaction, right? The law of karmic cause and effect. Every choice produces, or every action produces a reaction. We have the moon. The moon veils a hidden gift or talent. The moon veils a hidden gift or talent. Okay, so when we go back to this raccoon energy, right? This is the moon. This is the moon energy that we have, right? These emotional triggers that interfere with our forward movement. These emotional triggers is veiling a hidden talent. Veiling a hidden talent. This hidden talent is giving your authenticity, right? I feel like the advice is here. Observe the destruction with a sense of detachment. Pull your mental and emotional energies out of the tower, right? It's going to result in number 7. Number 7, we have completeness, perfection, fulfillment of divine promises. That's what this energy is here. Fulfillment of divine promises, but it's you fulfilling your own prophecy, right? You moving yourself into alignment with this prophecy, right? Something that you promised yourself. You made this promise to yourself, right? What else do we have here? The Queen of Swords. Graceful movement, exceptional balancing and dancing. We did have water, skillful navigation. I didn't talk about this card. It says water represents the ability to maneuver around obstacles and overcome challenges by developing fluidity and flexibility in both the mind and body. So this is like making clear decisions, right? Clear choices. You have the Page of Pentacles, the roots, the foundations, the beginning of a spiritual pathway, following or creating, or even like discovering your true purpose and then leading with that. The Page of Pentacles also talks about pregnancy and the birth of ideas. Pregnancy and the birth of ideas. Maybe you've been pregnant with this idea, right? With something that you want to manifest, you've been pregnant with it. There is a potential for this idea, this dream, this hope, this aspiration to be birthed in this energy. We have air. Air, communication and connection. Communication and connection. Remember that we have the moon in Gemini, right? The moon in Gemini asking us to, what do we have here? Speak with truth, authenticity, and integrity. It says air represents the bridge of communication that connects the soul and the ego, and the whirlwind of transformation that occurs when we learn to quiet the busy ego to hear the whispers of the soul. So again, this is giving an energy of communicating yourself truthfully, expressing yourself truthfully. This doesn't have to do with speaking to anyone else. If we're going back to this woman here, right? This woman who is projecting, inflicting this mice energy, army of worries. You don't have to say anything to that person. You don't have to say anything to that person. Instead, what you do is pull your energy out of that mix, right? Sovereign signal. Pull your mental and emotional energies out of that mix, and then communicate, express yourself truthfully and authentically, right? It's going to align you with this star energy. This star energy is wish fulfillment. We have alchemy and we have agent. Alchemy, the power to transform. You have a supernatural ability to change one thing into another, such as turning darkness into light and transforming an undesirable situation into a more favorable one. Don't hold back. And then we have agent, active opposition. That's who this woman is. She's an agent of chaos. An agent is someone who feels triggered by you stepping into your power. This person may try to undermine you with guilt, shame, gossip, or intimidation tactics to put you back in your place. A chaos causer, but you have victory over this. Attainment of success, victory lap. Despite the odds being stacked against you, you have successfully achieved a significant goal. Take a moment to celebrate your victory. Maybe it's like victory over fear, victory over trauma, and then we have reward, acknowledgement of effort. Your labor was not in vain. And then we have path and acceleration and money tree. Okay, it says the hard work and dedication you've invested into a project, assignment, or endeavor is yielding positive results. And that brings me back to that 8-8 Lionsgate portal, right? This portal or this time frame is amplifying, growing, accelerating the seeds that we've already planted, right? So this reward card talks about compensation, and this compensation may be like, it may be evolution upon your soul's path, right? Remember we talked about the moon in Sagittarius, how emotional triggers were interfering with forward movement, right? This victory over fear, this victory over insecurity, this victory over worry, it's creating some sort of evolution, soul evolution, acceleration, fast-moving energy. It says quick momentum is propelling you forward. To sustain the momentum and avoid burnout, establish a consistent practice that helps you balance and ground your energy. This is more of like that blast off energy. Blast off energy could feel like overwhelm and exhaustion, but the speed is increasing. It's like as soon as you decide, right? Because we are at a crossroads. As soon as you decide to move away from whatever this energy is, we do this with our consciousness. We don't have to say anything to anyone else. As soon as you decide crossroads energy, then there's like blast off into this wish fulfillment, right? We have money tree. Money tree is the 10 of Pentacles. It represents like prosperity, windfall. This card says harvest. Remember we talked about like the 8-8 Lionsgate portal being a portal of harvest, right? Harvesting the fruit that you've already planted, right? Ripened fruit. This is your payout. This card also talks about completion of a journey, a soul's journey, a spiritual journey, and then preparing to status and authority, rise and move forward, move on into a brand new cycle. Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave this message here. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you on the next one.